Major Hurricane Beryl takes direct aim at Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. It is good to see you on this midday Tuesday. Coming up, I've got all the newest information on Hurricane Beryl. We'll look at the current information. We'll look at the forecast track and the impacts that are expected across many portions of the Caribbean as Beryl works its way off towards the west. As we get this video started, want to let you know how I'll be covering Beryl here at Meteo Mundo. Look for video updates like this throughout the day. I'll be posting another one in the early evening. We'll also have our 24/7 radar going up, that live stream that you can check in with the newest on Beryl. And starting tomorrow morning, I will be going live continuously, just like I did when Beryl moved through the Windward Islands. We'll have live continuous coverage here on Meteo Mundo tracking Hurricane Beryl with direct impacts expected for Jamaica. Again, that live coverage starts tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You'll see that scheduled stream. Make sure you tune in for that. And again, we'll be going nonstop as Beryl looks to have direct impacts to Jamaica. So let's talk about what's happening with Beryl here on this midday Tuesday. First of all, a couple of notes here. Still a monster hurricane, Category 5. We are beginning to see the very first sign of that wind shear that was forecast in the Caribbean, especially as it's moved a little bit farther west, to begin to impact the storm. You'll note that here, there's a little bit drier air coming in. The west side of the storm no longer looks as good as the healthy east side of the storm. So that drier air and that wind shear is beginning to have an impact. And that's exactly what we want to see. The big question, of course, is how much can that wind shear knock down a Category 5 storm before it moves closer to the South Haiti coastline and again, potentially right over or near Jamaica tomorrow? So that is going to be the big questions. Now look, it is still spiraling in some heavy rain and some very gusty winds for portions of the northern side of the Lesser Antilles, the Leeward Islands in general. We still had some 30-mile-an-hour gusts there. The rain is ending in those areas and the breezes are very steady and strong over the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. San Juan actually recorded a 46-mile-an-hour wind gust here earlier in the morning hours. So again, very strong winds in that area, and everything is kind of just spiraling off towards the west. There's some rain over Puerto Rico right now, but we're really going to start to get into things over Hispaniola as we go throughout the afternoon hours. You can see we already have some gusts along the coastline over 30, and there is the opportunity that we could have some tropical storm conditions throughout the Dominican Republic, and especially towards the West Haiti coastline. These areas are under tropical storm warnings. The South Haiti coast is even under a hurricane watch, which means hurricane conditions are possible, but there's going to be a lot of heavy rain coming in to these areas, and the closest approach with Beryl will not be moving towards South Hispaniola until a little bit later today and tonight. So the newest information on Beryl as of the 11 a.m. advisory, still Category 5, winds of 160 miles an hour, pressure still at 938 millibars. Still has that good forward speed west-northwest at 22 miles an hour. That puts it 555 miles to the east-southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. Hurricane warning currently in effect for Jamaica. That means hurricane conditions are likely across the island. Hurricane watch is in effect for Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. That means hurricane conditions are possible. A tropical storm warning for the south coast of the Dominican Republic from Punta Platenque. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong or close, west to the Haiti border, and then the South Haiti coast, which is also under a hurricane watch, meaning again, we expect tropical storm conditions on the south coast of Hispaniola, and for the Haitian coastline, the possibility of some hurricane force gusts as well. Now again, the biggest factor is going to be how much wind shear is going to be in play between now and when Beryl moves closer to Jamaica. There's a fair amount forecast from the GFS. That's going to be a southwest wind. Southwest winds to east, so as the storm moves west, it's like punching it in the face with some winds that are going to try and tear it apart a bit. But again, how much can we take this moderate wind shear and knock down a storm that has winds right now of 160 miles an hour? This is the water vapor imagery. Again, it still looks very healthy, especially in the inner core. Look, I don't expect there to be a lot of drop in intensity from Beryl in the short term until we can get some of this drier air on the western leading edge and wrap it around the storm on the eastern side and then into the inner circulation. Once that starts happening, Beryl's intensity could come down a little bit faster than obviously what we've been seeing, but we need to get this storm knocked down some. I mean, again, hopefully it's going to have a quick drop, but we're still expecting a major hurricane close to Jamaica as we get through our Wednesday. This is the visible satellite imagery. Again, there's a little bit of the shear out west so far. It's noted. Is it doing anything of any impressiveness so far to really taper down, Beryl? No, but we hope over time it's going to. Okay, so let's get into the forecast track from the Hurricane Center, and we're going to break this down for you right now. So again, still a Category 5 at the hour, winds of 160 miles an hour. Still forecast to be a Category 4 tonight. Closest approach to South Dominican Republic and Haiti will be tonight. That's when we could see the tropical storm force sustained winds and some hurricane gusts to go along with some very heavy rain, some landslides and some mudslides for portions of Hispaniola. Overnight, we'll start to see some tropical storm conditions begin to move into Jamaica, and then throughout the day Wednesday, this is when we have Beryl coming through. Now again, on the official forecast, we still have a hurricane of a Category 4 strength with winds of 140 miles an hour tomorrow morning, and then working its way close to Jamaica, potentially even making landfall on Jamaica here, and then still as a Category 3. Now hopefully, these numbers will come down a little bit, but our friends in Jamaica need to prepare for the potential of a major hurricane with hurricane impacts island-wide beginning to move into the area starting early tomorrow morning. We have the hurricane watch for the Cayman Islands. As you can see, Beryl is still forecast to continue to weaken. The biggest question is just how quickly is that going to happen? Into the Northwest Caribbean, still a hurricane, and then potentially as we get towards Friday and Saturday, over the Yucatan, Quintana Roo, maybe the north side of Belize, into the southwest Gulf of Mexico, and then we'll see if this can ride up and how far into the northwest Gulf of Mexico it could get. That is kind of the interactive map. This is it kind of in a static form from the Hurricane Center, so you can see those times that I'm talking about. Again, closest approach to Hispaniola tonight, there's the 8 a.m. plot east of Jamaica. You see the 8 p.m. plot just west or potentially over the western portions of Jamaica. So this is going to be a all-day event for Jamaica tomorrow, even though it's moving more than 20 miles an hour, and then through the Northwest Caribbean, again, potentially going back into land over the Yucatan on Friday afternoon or early evening. GFS model is very much in agreement with this. The one thing that looks to be a little bit more honed in right now is the forecast track. Pretty much all the global models, all the spaghetti plot models are very much in agreement with this potential track. The GFS looks very similar to to Euro of Beryl. Now the Euro is a little bit more spread out. It still has a little bit more inconsistency here, but that center mean line, that black line here from the ensemble is basically right in the heart of where the Hurricane Center has the track and the GFS model does as well. Okay, we're going to get into all the specifics as we do so. Thank you so much for liking this video. Appreciate all the support I've had lately here at Meteo Mundo. If you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button right now. You want the latest on Beryl and the forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Please share this video with anyone you think might get some information out of it that they desperately need, especially in areas like Jamaica and off to the west. Thank you for all of those who have found ways to support me here at Meteo Mundo through our membership program, the Super Thanks, and other ways that you can help as well in the description below. All right. So let's get into what we're going to be expecting here from Beryl. Again, Beryl will continue to track off towards the west-northwest relatively quickly. Now, let me get rid of this yellow area here. Well, that's 96L. Shouldn't be a huge threat, but we'll talk about it here coming up in a minute. So again, the biggest question is, how quickly does Beryl begin to lose intensity? Unfortunately, we are running out of time, all right, where we will start to see the impacts of Beryl here as we get into Wednesday morning for the eastern sides of Jamaica. Still noting some very heavy rain, again, through portions of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And Beryl looks to, again, track fairly quickly along this line. So as far as that goes, not expecting a lot of change here. Let me throw on the GFS model, and we're going to take a look at the rain. And the biggest reason why I'm showing you the GFS model here is just want to show you what the track could possibly be out of that. But the bigger one that I want to show you is actually going to be from the HAFS model. The HAFS model, I think, has a little bit better idea of where it's going to be going here. So let me load up the GFS model real quickly. I'm going to put that into motion. And again, it's just kind of a general idea because I can manipulate this, and then I'm going to show you the HAFS model where we're just going to kind of take a look at it. But again, does the GFS have a handle on how strong Beryl is? No, it doesn't. So this is basically for timing purposes because the GFS model is good on the timing. Let me put the model timestamp on, by the way, right there so you can see that. So again, as we get into this evening, we're going to start to see the closest approach to Haiti and the Dominican Republic. I'll do real quickly take off kind of all of this information to be just a little bit easier for you guys to see, and then we'll throw it back on when we need to talk about Beryl again. As I stated, the model is not strong enough with Beryl, but the timing is correct. So as we get into tomorrow morning, you're going to start to see those first impacts here on the eastern side of Jamaica. There comes Beryl as we go into the afternoon hours. There's 2 o'clock, potentially that eye near Kingston and then moving over the island. And then again, the GFS falls it apart too quickly into the Cayman Islands. But the timing of this is spot on, I believe, or very, very close. So I wanted to show you that. Now we can look at the HAFS model, which has a much better handle as the actual intensity of Beryl. This is the floater product, so the storm is going to stay in the center of the screen at all times. You'll see it pass Haiti right there, then move into and just south of the Cayman Islands, and then notice this track is very much what we just talked about, moving into the Yucatan there, Quintana Roo, as we get into our Friday, emerging into the southwest Gulf of Mexico, with still a low-level circulation intact, so the possibility it could try and re-intensify at least a bit in the southwest Gulf. The HAFS model actually has it coming inland into North Mexico before it reaches Texas. Again, here is the Dominican Republic and Haiti, closest approach tonight. Here comes the storm. I take myself off screen, look at the bottom right, 140, 130, then the intensity begins to drop down into a category 1 hurricane. Might try and wrap up just a little bit more there before landfall again over the Yucatan, and then back into the southwest Gulf of Mexico, again be a tropical storm by that point in time, and then we'll just have to see how it plays out. There's not a lot of consensus in the models when we get this far. This is a much closer view of the important part for Haiti and Jamaica. So I've stair-stepped this very, very slowly here. I'm going to step to this side of the screen. I'm going to, actually, you know what, I'm just going to take myself off screen because you can't see the numbers. If you look at the bottom right-hand side of your screen, again, that's the max winds. Now, we hope that core doesn't go over South Jamaica, okay? But again, on the HAFS model, it is a major hurricane approaching Jamaica tomorrow morning. That is going to be 4 a.m. There is 7 a.m. That is 10 a.m. That is 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. as it moves on the western side, okay? So the HAFS model is right in line with what the Hurricane Center is showing as a track and is very close to the intensity as well. We hope it loses more steam than this in a hurry. Obviously, it's going to be coming with a potentially very strong storm surge. The swells, we know what happened in the Windward Islands. We've had some good swells in other portions of the Caribbean. And again, you can see, look at those rainbow colors. Those are wave heights well over 10 feet, 10 to 14 feet coming in. And there will be a lot of that action going all the way into the Caribbean coastline of Central America and the Yucatan as well. And still some pretty steady wave heights even for the Western Atlantic, so on the eastern side of the Bahamas and the Turks and the Caicos as well. There's wave action generated by Beryl that'll be felt much farther away, of course, from the center of circulation and the winds. So now let's talk about potential impacts, okay? We're going to start with Jamaica. Hurricane force winds are likely for tomorrow. Storm surge of up to 4 to 6 feet. If Beryl tracks south of the island, that's going to take that wind and drive it right into the island in the eastern side. So there's going to be winds coming right into some of the shorelines. Rainfall of 4 to 8 inches. It could potentially be locally higher in spots. Power outages, and of course, with that heavy rain, landslides and mudslides. My friends in Jamaica, please check in with your local officials, your local government for the latest local information and the actions that you need to take in your area. The potential impacts for Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic, for tonight. Near hurricane force wind gusts near the coast at 74 miles an hour up to 119 kilometers an hour. Storm surge of 1 to 3 feet, 4 to 8 inches of rain. Some of the heaviest rain can actually be inland in some of the higher terrain. That's 100 to 200 millimeters of rain. That could lead to flash flooding and mudslides, especially if some of that rain falls in the higher terrain. For Haiti, it's the same impacts the DR is going to see, except there could be more locally heavy rain along the coast, up to 12 inches. That's 300 millimeters of rain. So those are the impacts expected for Hispaniola. Now, other areas like the Cayman Islands and Belize and Cancun, Yucatan in general, will get into the specifics for your potential impacts coming up. It's really going to matter how quickly Beryl drops in intensity as to what we're going to see. But again, hurricane conditions are possible in the Cayman Islands, and then down the road, we'll be watching for Cancun and Cozumel. So that'll be kind of the next step when we'll talk about those areas and the potential impacts there and really break it down. Looking at those rainfall totals, again, we'll start off right here on the coastline of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. This is the GFS model. And when we look at that again, it is going to be very, very close as to if we're going to get some of this very heavy rain to be on shore. Here's Lakai, and again, right near shore there, we do have that 8, 9, 10 inches of rain. Overall, there'll be more rain along the Haitian coast than over portions of the Dominican Republic. But that being said, you can see right here in Santo Domingo, forecasting 4 to 5 inches of rain, 100 to 125 millimeters of rain. Heavy rain for Punta Cana, La Romana should taper off north and west. But again, some of that heavier rain over the higher terrain could cause some landslides and mudslides. But you can see again along the immediate coast and just offshore, that's where we have the pockets of very heavy rain. For Jamaica, I think we're right in on this right now. And again, the red outline is the hurricane warning on the map, but you can see there's your 4, 6, 8 inches of rain, especially on the eastern side of the island towards Kingston and Portmore and Spanish Town. We'll go over 3 to 4, but potentially even locally higher than that. A little bit higher on the model on the northern side, a little bit drier on the west, but I don't know if it's really going to matter. I think 4 to 8 is a pretty good spread. And there you see on the western sides as well. And if it holds together, obviously, we're going to see some heavy rain through the Cayman Islands and again back over towards Haiti. Real quickly, just for 96L, it is a relatively weak system. The Hurricane Center continues to drop. The potential for development, it's fighting some wind shear, it's fighting drier air. If it's going to be moving into some areas, it is forecast to move right into the southern side of the Lesser Antilles, into the Windward Islands. So starting tomorrow, late tomorrow, on Thursday, we could again have some fresh breezes with this, even if it doesn't wrap up, and some more heavy rain for some of these areas. It's moving fast, so it shouldn't produce a lot of that. But that is something I'll be keeping an eye on. Our friends in the Bahamas have been enjoying some nice weather. There's been a few isolated storms there. We've had some heavier rain for portions of Central America, but generally speaking, all eyes are on Beryl here. And I know I've got you updated. I'll keep you updated. Okay, here's how you can follow us. Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. Send me pictures and videos just like you did through the Windward Islands. Help to tell the story. myMediaMundo@gmail.com. Again, look for our 24/7 live stream of our live radar information. That will be throughout the afternoon and overnight. I will be doing another video update later today. And then again, starting live coverage of Hurricane Beryl with impacts for Jamaica beginning Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Friends, thanks again for liking and subscribing. You have a great rest of your day, but I'll keep you updated, and I will see you real soon right here at Meteo Mundo.